foremost, I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Ruach Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to you brothers out there laboring in sincerity and in truth and using your body as a living sacrifice, as the scriptures say. And salutations to you few awkward and silence, as the scriptures say. So pretty much this lesson is going to go into America, the police state, right? Because this article here says IRS hiring spree is the biggest expansion of police state in American history. You know, and the Democrat, I'm gonna just read a couple of, just a little bit from this article. The Democrats' new reconciliation bill, excuse me, isn't just going to be the largest ever expansion of a government agency. It's going to be the largest expansion of the domestic police state in American history. Only a statistic could believe that a federal government, which already collects $4.1 trillion every year, of $12,300 for every citizen, supposedly need 80 battalions of new IRS cops, you know, and they basically militarize them, you know. This is a part of the IRS, which is the Criminal Investigation Division, which is like an on-foot army, basically. The average American has less reason to be concerned about cops with guns, though the IRS is looking for special agents who can carry a firearm and be willing to use deadly force if necessary. Then they do bureaucrats armed with pens who are authorized to sift through their lives. If you pay your taxes and have nothing to worry about, Democrats claim, but most law-abiding citizens know they have something to fear from a state agency that doesn't concern itself with your due process, has no regard for your privacy, and is empowered to target anyone it wants without any genuine oversight. Yeah, man. So, you know, get ready. You know, because the apostles and the brothers have been bringing this out for years, man. You know, this is a complete military state, man. And one of the Hopkins sent me a video of live training going on over the city of San Antonio. You know, which we're gonna use for a later lesson. You know, but get used to it. You know, they basically conditioning your mind for a military state. You know, read the top of here. It says this is the biggest expansion of police state in American history, man. You know, this is supposed to be an agency where, you know, where they are supposed to be behind a pen and desk, you know, looking through forms and paper, but now they are approved to go on the ground and search from house to house and door to door. You know, for any money you probably have stashed or, you know, whatever the case may be. And it says, right, if you pay your taxes, you have nothing to worry about. Right. You know, as if anything that they put together was for our benefit, you know. It says, and please spare us this nonsense about the IRS expansion focusing exclusively on high earners. Right, this is going to affect the poor, you know. That's why I was watching the Elder Apostle video earlier, you know, Tahar, about the fiscus, you know, which was a taxation on the poor, which was the Israelites, you know, in Rome, and that's where you get the term fiscal year from, right? So this is not aimed at the higher earners. This is for the poor, man. You know, which is us, you know. Salaki, bear with me one moment. This is the book of second. Bear with me. This is Proverbs 22, and I'm gonna start at 16. He that oppresseth the poor to increase his riches, and he that giveth to the rich shall surely come to want. Bow down thy ear and hear the words of the wise, and apply them thine heart unto my knowledge. Right. See, because that's what these devils have been doing. They've been robbing, oppressing the poor to increase their riches, and they've been giving to the rich. But the Most High said that they surely are going to come to a want, and they surely are, man. And that's why he's coming in like this, because he knows that he has but a short time. So let me continue reading. White House Press Secretary Karen Jean-Pierre promised that the IRS wouldn't exchange in new audits of anyone making under $400,000, a claim she has no authority to make and could not possibly predict even if she did. See? And it shows you, that's how they get you. That's how they get these people. Their words are smooth as butter, but behind their back a sword is drawn. That's how they operate. Now, we're not going to do this, we're not going to do that, but we're going to, make sure that we, tax the wealthy, the rich. Come on, man, you guys work for the wealthy and the rich. You get your, they get their campaign money and financing from corporations. So that's hypocrisy in itself, man. And then you got to think of what Klaus Schwab said, man. By 2030, you will own nothing and be happy. Senator Chris Murray, D-Con, Democratic Connecticut, I guess, also bill was passed said that epidemic of tax cheating amongst the millionaires and billionaires, and promised the audit rates won't increase for anyone making under 400K. This is a lie. Nothing in the bill that Democrats passed through the Senate limits audits. Murphy, along with every other, and that's why you people, when they bring these bills to the table, and they're not just signing one law, but they're signing multiple laws. That's why it's imperative that you pay attention and do your own research yourself and look through these laws and stop listening to the lips of these devils, man. This is a lie. Nothing in the bill that Democrats passed through the Senate limits audits. Murphy, along with other Democrats in the Senate, voted against Republican amendment that would have prevented new agents from auditing individuals and small businesses with less than $400,000 of taxable income. And see, that's what you have going on. There's a lot of division, between the Democrats and the Republicans, and that division causes a division in the people, right? And if there's a division in the people, there's a division within America itself, which is a kingdom. So this is Matthew 12 and 26. And if Satan casts out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? Right? How can you stand? Better yet, this is Mark 3 and 24. Let me get the right version. The KJV. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. Right? And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but he had an end. Right? And that's the point right there. So if this place is divided, then how can this place stand, man? And that's initially going to bring in, sedition of men, according to Second Esdras, which I'll get later. You know, uh, bear with me 1 second. Back in Matthew 12:25. And Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? And America is clearly divided, man. You know, the people are ready to turn up, man. You know, especially with the situation that happened in Mar-a-Lago with the situation with Trump, man. You know, so this was the job posting. You know, it said the IRS has removed the line, carry a firearm, and be willing to use deadly force if necessary. See, because they're militarizing everything, man. This is a police state. You know, get ready, because all of this is the beginning of sorrows, man. Jacob Trouble is right on the horizon. This was a quick video that I found. You know, we just gonna go into bits and pieces of it, but he's gonna tell you, you know, how America has turned the police into an army, and not only the police, but you know, all local forces, federal forces. You know, so we're gonna just play 2 minutes of it.
Actual data that you can get in terms of militarization. And so we've heard a lot about militarization because this basically came out of the Ferguson protests in August 2014, and everyone heard about this new program called the 1033 program for the Pentagon. So the 1033 program was started in 1989, but really kind of built up in 1997, and in 2006 is when agencies really started to acquire surplus items. So what the military does is when they have excess surplus items, they go through the Pentagon to allow local law enforcement agencies to acquire this at very minimal cost. So since the Ferguson protest, we've kind of had a visual impact of militarization. So there was data available from that, but the problem with police militarization is that it's much larger. And so when you think about police militarization, there's kind of 4 dimensions that we can look at: material, cultural, organizational, and operational. And so material is the actual items. So we think about the 1033 program. When we talk about cultural, we talk about language. So the war on drugs, the war on terror, that kind of language that's used by the police when it's actually should be used by the military. When we think about operational, we think about no-knock raids, actual military type tactics that are used by local law enforcement agencies. And then finally, organizational is when militarization is actually normalized through having SWAT teams, drug task force, terrorism units. So within agencies, you have military type organizations. So when we think about militarization, the impact of militarization can
See, so they have militarized practically everything. You know, when you look at your local police force, they ride around the tanks, the SWAT teams, the vests, AR-15, you know, military grade weapons and vehicles. When you look at the FBI, they don't look like the guys in the suits and the blue jackets anymore. They pretty much have military battle dress uniforms. You see what I'm saying? Just to give you a visual, you know. Bear with me. You go to images. Matter of fact, I don't even want to do that. Let me go to raid. Oh, that's perfect. See? Military uniform. not looking like this anymore. You know, with the smooth jackets. You know, everything is pretty much military style grade, and this is one that during the Trump raid. You know. I'll give you a better visual of one. Um, well, this is better. You know. It says when local cops drive tanks, the daily consequences of militarizing Mayberry. And this is from October 21st, 2017. But you see, this is from the police department, man. This is a military grade weapon, man. Look at these uniforms, man. The camouflage, you know. These are the people that's supposed to be policing you. Look at the battle helmets, you know. So yeah, this is what it's come to, you know. And you got a lot of Second Amendment rights believers, man. You know, a lot of people that believe in their freedom, you know, that believe in the Constitution, man. And what's gonna happen is you're gonna have two sides that's gonna collide, man. You know, because that's what it's itching. That's what it's, you know, forming up to. You know. Let me get that Second Ezra real quick. Second Ezra 15 and 15. For the sword and their destruction draweth near. All right, God, because all of this is the Lord. You know, He's putting the spirit on these people. You know, to fulfill prophecy. You know. And one people shall stand up and fight against another people, right? Because there's a division in this nation, man. And the swords in their hands, and swords just means a weapon, you know. For there shall be sedition among men. Let's look up sedition. Copy. Paste. Sedition meaning conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against the authority of a state or monarch. Right. Agitation, revolt, insurrection, rioting, insurgents, provocation, you know, resistance. Yeah, the resistance. Yeah, it's gonna cause people to rise up, man. You know, because you got the IRS now coming to kick your door in, you know, about to see how much money you got on hand, or about some money that you owe. You know, this place has become a complete, pretty much military state, man. And you got a lot of people out here that's not standing for that shit. You know, they believe in their privacy, their security, their Second Amendment rights. They also doing a lot of gun bans. It was just a gun ban, assault rifle weapon ban in Naperville, Illinois, that take effect January 1st of 2023. You know, so they putting the pressure on. You see, when you back people in the corner so far, you know, because they're attacking people on all angles, you know, you're gonna eventually when you back a rabbit in the corner, you know what I'm saying? That rabbit gonna come out fighting. Or when you put a lot of pressure on something, right? It's always a combustion, right? And that's what's happening right now. Okay, for there shall be a sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, right? Kings or princes, whoever is in authority, you know. And the courses of their actions shall stand in their power, right? So their actions is going to be justified, going to stand in their power. That's it, you know. So you're going to have one side against the other side, you know. And that's what all this is leading up to, you know, through the media, whether you on the left side, you know, a far leftist, or you on the right side, the Republican, because this nation is divided, man. I'm fast forwarded to right here, because he's going to tell you about the type of weapons that these that they have acquired, you know, that they acquired, but they don't want you to have, right? That's a totalitarian society, man. You know, these people they talk about climate change. They fly around in private jets, but they want you to cut back on your fuel emission. They want you not to have weapons, but they surrounded by security on 24 hours a day with weapons. You know, they sell weapons to the rest of the world, but they want to take your weapons. Because they know if they take your weapons from you, you can't buck up against the system. Whatever they tell you, that's what you got to do, because you have no power, you have no way of fighting back.
Police officers being more aggressive because they have body armor, they have higher caliber weapons, that they're going to become more aggressive. And it's one of those things where there might be a relationship we can't say for certain. And when I was doing this research, a lot of it, what's interesting about doing research on police militarization and police behavior is that we have these stories, unfortunately, every day about police violence. And I was just thinking about the story of Daniel Shaver, the young man from Mesa, who was shot by an officer in a hotel room, and they had body camera video. And that officer had an AR-15, which is a military-style weapon, and he had body armor. And you could just see in that video how aggressive, how almost that the officer wanted to kill him. And in that video, and so looking at my research, I did my research against academic, but there's also the story part of it, the anecdote part that I try to tie together. And so it's one of those things where you have to believe that this is what my research says, but then you look at the video, it's like that kind of fits within that. So it's possible that this increased militarization has led to more aggressive behavior, which then in turn leads to both excessive use of force and lethal use of force.
Right, because they feel emboldened by the weapons that they have, the equipment that they have, and when you have to be trained on those weapons and equipments and robots and whatever the case may be. So the training is magnified, and it increases one, how can I say it, urgency or eagerness, to use his training, what he's been trying to do. You don't train a man to kill and then send him on a peacekeeping mission. That's the irony in that. You prepare somebody to fight, but then at the same time you want them to break up, to basically a trained fighter. You want to make him a security guard in the school. So yeah, of course he's going to be aggressive and emboldened by his new training tactics and equipment, and he's ready to kill something. Because that's to come in and de-escalate the situation, but more so to put oil on the fire, like this here. Quick little video.
Right, that's good. You line up there, whoever's going first.
And he out of shape. He big as hell. He ain't gonna make it.
Thumbs out.
That's about all he could do. Pull his gun out. Alright. Knocking the door. Knock on the door. Come through without nobody letting them in. You know what I'm saying? Guns out drawn. The use of deadly force. Let me get Isaiah 59 and 19. No, I'm not 50. I'm starting at 18. According to their deeds, accordingly he will repay. Fury to his adversaries, recompense to his enemies. To the islands he will repay recompense. This is the Most High. So shall they fear the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua from the west, right? And we are in the west. And his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua shall lift up a standard against him. You know? So yeah, so we're not gonna be worried about them coming in as a flood, you know, with all these agencies and all these stormtroopers that they have on foot, you know, because the Most High is gonna lift up a standard against them, you know. He's gonna take care of his elect, you know, the remnant. 1 second. I think Salakia. It might be Revelation 17 and 12. No, bear with me 1 second. Bear with me. Let me see. Revelation 12 and 17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed. So that's what this is all about, man. This is about, you know, the elect, man. You know, which keep the commandments of the Most High and have the testimony of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. You know, so we not worried about it, man, because we already know these things that are come, man. But at the end of the day, the Most High is gonna lift up a standard. You know. This is Revelation 17 and 14. Then these shall make war with the Lamb, which is Yahushua, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings. And they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful, you know. And that's the elect, man, you know. And look at that victory for the Lamb. So in the end, man, that's why the Lord said, "He that endures unto the end will receive a crown of life," man. So we not worried about, you know, what Esau is doing and, you know, how he's gathering up all these militaries and the seditions and the sedition of men, Jacob's trouble and all that, because we already know that we're gonna be tried, man. But at the end of the day, you know, we happy to see these things come to pass because we already know our salvation is near, you know. So, you know, inform the people and also each other, you know, to keep us in the spirit and power of Yahweh, spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. So with that, man, I hope you brothers was edified, man. And until next time, Shalom.